Welcome to Mastering Machines, where we discover tomorrow's reality.
I want to talk about an article I read earlier today, and it's this article here, A Visual Guide to Mixture of Experts. When you see a lot of new LLMs get released, you usually see MOE, which stands for Mixture of Experts. But what does this MOE represent, and why are there so many LLMs using this particular method? The Mixture of Experts model is a type of neural network architecture, and you could think about it as you're building a system that can handle many different tasks. But instead of having one giant neural network that tries to do everything, you can create multiple smaller neural networks, each specialized in one task. The MOE model then decides which expert to ask for help and combines the answers from the experts to give the final answer. Within the Mixture of Experts model, there's different techniques to find the best possible answer regarding a specific question or niche. There's the gating network, which is a crucial part of the MOE model. You can kind of think about it as the front office of a school. The gating network takes the input data and decides which expert or neural network to ask for help. Think of the gating network as a filter that says, okay, I have this input data, and based on this data, I think expert A is the most likely to know the answer. I'll ask expert A for help. Like a front office at a school, it looks at your question and decides which teacher is most likely to know the answer. Then there's the top K experts technique. This adds on top of the gating network because instead of just asking one expert for one particular thing, you can actually ask a group of top K experts for help on a particular thing. So that you can liken this to asking not just the math teacher, but also the science teacher and history teacher regarding a specific query, because the question might relate to all these different subjects that have combinations of all of these little pieces of answers from these different experts. When the MOE model combines the answers from the experts, it uses a technique called weighted sum. This is like giving each expert a score based on how confident the gating network is that the expert knows that particular answer for that particular query or question. Let's say the gating network asks expert A and expert B for help, and it gives a score of 0.7 to expert A and 0.3 to expert B. This means that the gating network is 70% confident that expert A knows the answer and 30% confident that expert B knows the answer. The MOE model then combines the answers from the experts using these weights. This is like taking a vote for all the different experts and then seeing which answer is the best based on the vote of the gating network. And the article talks about visualizing mixture of expert models, and the author talks about using basically connections between the different nodes to kind of visualize how different answers come from different experts and how they kind of are connected together. The article is quite dense, and they mention a couple of other things as well, such as the hierarchical MOE, which is a layered team of experts where each layer has its own gating network that decides which expert to ask for help. And there's also something called the stacked MOE, which is like a chain of teams where each team has a gating network that decides which expert to ask for help. And the output from each team is passed on to the next team, so kind of connected to all these different nodes. Depending on what method to use is depending on what your question or problem that you want to solve is with these models. Just keep that in mind. So whenever you see MOE in these LLM documentation or used in a particular LLM model, remember that this is how it works and this is how it's leveraged within these models. Remember, mastering machines, discover tomorrow's reality.